Sasha.
And we are live on idobi Radio, the first show of the new year, 2025. That's where we are. Sorry. It is already 2025. We've been doing this show for like every show that I do this.
We started in 2017.
Yes, 2017.
It was just
ago, right?
Yeah. Your math checks out.
Yeah, thanks. We've been doing it for when Trump was in his first term.
Oh, when you put it like that.
I know, it makes me want to bomb, but we have to face reality. We are here back on idobi Radio, and we're very happy to be here. We're living in the moment.
It's all you can do.
We're doing our best. Find us everywhere. We'll be talking about Instagram, but you can find us hopefully on Instagram, Cool Nerd Weed Show. YouTube is a great place to find us in one way or another, idobi's or our own. And the idobi app is free and has a bunch of other really cool podcasts. Like, we share the airwaves with genuine rock stars. And then there's us. There's like Simple Plan, Bowling for Soup, Sum 41, and Sasha and Tails.
Right there, rubbing elbows.
Yeah, that's right. And we will do it until our lungs give out. We love talking about weed, and we love idobi Radio, and we are passionate about weeds and our things. We had nice breaks. Yes, my break was nice. I didn't really have it wasn't like a break, but I was with family for a while. I go back to the East Coast. I drive across this land of ours and am reminded how lucky I am to be living in 2 states where weed is legal. That's pretty great. Well, recreational.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a beautiful thing.
Access is pretty sweet.
I flew to the East Coast.
You did.
Over all of those places.
You did.
And
over. You flew over them.
I flew over them. My vacation. It was my break was very relaxing.
I'm glad you had fun. It seemed like you had fun. You got to go mix it up down there in Florida.
Yeah, it's we're way out there. Way out there. A lot of nature.
Yeah, yes, I know. I was getting a lot of nature updates. I always do when you're in Florida because it's all the nature. I'm always reminded of that when I drive through the California, the vegetation, like you always have to stop. Only in California.
Oh yeah,
then I'm like, well, you think about it.
The agricultural checkpoint.
Yeah. It's like, well, how many there are invasive species everywhere, but not like Florida.
Yeah,
there's a lot of genuinely cool wildlife in Florida.
There was like deer every day, birds, mad birds.
So
I love a bird.
Me too. I love a good
bird watching.
Same. I love it.
And then I sent you a picture of that frog, and I didn't know it was another invasive species. It was blending in with the stucco.
Wow.
It was like perfect. The Cuban tree frog.
Of course.
An amazing species.
So now Florida weed, obviously we didn't get our law passed in Florida because it was dumb.
True.
And I do hope that they're working it out down there. Did you get a vibe? Did you get a weed vibe there, or is it still as it was?
Everybody that I encountered had a vape.
A weed vape.
Yeah.
A pen.
The neighbors and other sympathetic locals.
Cool.
I don't know where. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted anything to do with anything that I had.
Really?
On the high test.
Interesting.
I mean, I only really encountered the locals Christmas Eve. We went on a little nature walk.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in their garages. But, okay, so it's 60% voted for legal cannabis. So everybody that I encountered seemed to have no problem with it or had their own stash.
Well, that's good. It wasn't like... I mean, I guess for a while I feel like Florida's they've had their medicinal program.
But, this is true. But, okay, so I went, I did some stand-up paddleboarding. And if you were in California in the parking lot of a spot where you were going to go out surfing or paddleboarding, you would think that you'd probably smell weed.
For sure. Yes, 100%.
Or at the beach or wherever. I didn't smell it anywhere.
Dang. Well, and I will say, like, even though, like, I don't know, everything was, like, in Jersey, everything was pretty much the same. There was access, there was, like, a lot more dispensaries have popped up in New Jersey. There's one, like, a block away from where my house is, which is, like, super sweet. So I do believe that, like, I feel more comfortable, obviously, for obvious reasons in New Jersey, but in a, like, and it's so cold. It's so cold in New Jersey right now. And it was very cold. And Fish texted me because he was on the East Coast. He was like, how did you people smoke before there were vapes? Like, I was like, we went outside and our lungs froze to our ribs and our chest just burned. And we just caught colds from going outside and ripping bongs. Oh, God, I hated smoking in the cold so much, but I always had to rip your bong in the fucking freezing cold outside because you can't smoke in wherever place that you're staying. And not like it's easier to smoke indoors now. People still have complaints. Somebody got in trouble on my floor in my building here on the West Coast for smoking weed, but it wasn't me because I wasn't there. So you can't get me this time, motherfuckers!
So you have an alibi.
Yeah, I wasn't even there. Nobody who smokes weed was in that apartment. Unless my husband took up weed and just has been not telling me about it, which would be such a weird thing to do. No, I was on the East Coast. You were barely there. And when you were there, you didn't smoke. And you weren't on the same coast either. So it's somebody else.
We both have alibis.
We both do. And I have smelled weed on that floor, and it hasn't been me. Because, again, I am not there. I will be walking through the hallways and be like, that smells like weed. And ciggies. But I'm in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard. It smells like everything on that block.
True story. All the time.
That was pretty nice. And I did. I felt good about the weed I got. I felt good about the dispensaries that I went to on the East Coast. But when I got back, I was happy to, like, have West Coast weed in my lungs again. Nothing like it. Yeah.
What did you get?
Back east? I don't remember. I don't know what you want from me. I was like, what are you asking me for? Why are you embarrassing me? You know I don't
thought
remember.
Maybe you'd remember. It was a lot of grapes.
I talked about it on the radio. Somebody listened to our last show. Something was very dessert gassy. And yeah, I don't remember at all. I remember what I didn't like. I got a sativa, and it was J1. But that's just because I don't know why I keep kidding myself that I'll like a sativa again. I don't like them. But what the fuck did I smoke? I told you.
Oh no, I meant in LA.
Oh, in LA? Oh, no, here? Oh, I remember. Wait, no. Grape mochi.
Okay.
Right?
I believe so.
And another grape strain. It's not like guava. No, it's grape something. 2 grape strains is what I smoked here in LA so far. Sorry.
Grape guava for sure.
Yeah.
And grape mochi.
Nice. See? I mean, I just saw it today. But I have a very poor memory. We know this. But yeah, the grape strains were good. They were really good. It was really nice to be back and to smoke weeds.
That grape mochi was a Doja Pack exclusive.
Doja Pack. Yeah, it's been a long time since I smoked anything.
That's been a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good to see they're still kicking. There's like a lot of brands not a lot, but Golden State. Well, I saw a Golden State Banana sticker. I should have asked, but I was caught up. We were talking about other things. I had questions for these people, and I just wanted to find out how it felt. Because the one guy who I think was the manager, he worked in the Bay here, California, and Colorado. I was like, well, tell me about that. Like, how does it compare? And it's hard to, like, compare anything to anything. You know, like, Colorado's probably vastly different than the Bay 10 years ago. I have to assume.
Yeah.
And going to New Jersey, it really comes down to like licenses and what they're letting anybody do, and that's all back end biz, to your casual smoker who just wants access to weed, good weed. None of that means anything. That's just stuff that TS and I talk about. It's industry stuff, but it does affect the quality of your weed and whether it's good or fresh or any of those things. So even if you're kind of curious, it's good to know. Or else you're just gonna get your weed the traditional way and then legal, and then. But we have a lot to complain about today, so I don't want to get negative. Tell the story about your. Wait, did your Wait, okay. I have a lot of questions about your nephews. Okay. Your nephews are. Do you mind me talking about your nephews?
No, go ahead.
Okay, and your family.
Go ahead.
Okay. Everybody knows like what you do. Everybody knows what our podcast is. Everybody knows what we do. I think you and I are definitely past the stage where a family is. In fact, my mom wants to be on the show. And your dad, shout out, big ups, TS Senior, and Mama TS, the whole family. I loves you. But they all know, right? And your nephews were young, but now they're not.
Yeah, they're growing up.
Yeah,
and,
young lads.
And
you have to be the best influence.
One's 13.
Yeah, see that's.
So
we knew what weed was when we were 13.
They know what's going on.
Yeah.
They kind of have questions. Here, let me start with the oldest one. One early on, one day we're at the pool. We're in the pool. We're just kicking it, and he's like, "My friend says you're a hippie." I'm okay, partially that's true.
Sure.
And we left it at that. We left it at that.
That term even still exists.
Yeah.
Hippie, bunch of hippies.
Like a bunch of hippies.
Yes.
So, what were they doing? How did they get into that conversation?
Right.
It's because they know that this podcast exists, and I don't think they know exactly what my occupation is.
Right.
But then they don't ask too many other further questions. The youngest one is like 10 or 11.
Okay.
And he it's crazy because he actually did, when I was there, he did like a YouTube, he appeared on a YouTube cooking show with one of his classmates.
And they have like a lot of subscribers.
They do. It's really
what
crazy.
The fuck? Put a Cold Hard Weed Show t-shirt on them.
Like here, next time wear this idobi radio.
Yeah, wear that idobi radio shirt.
And I was like, oh yeah, I don't know, somebody brought up that we had done a cooking show.
Oh yeah, we did.
And he's like, but it's with I'm like, weed. He's like, aww. And then that was it with that conversation.
Aww.
I was like, if you have any further questions, ask me. And he was like, yeah.
Aw, well, at least and this is what I hope for my niece, even though she's 2, that you'll likely be a part of that conversation when they are when they're 21 and they're going to smoke their first joint.
Of course. If, things are going to happen inevitably. So I think the goal is to arm them with as much information as they want to absorb without overwhelming them or scaring them.
Or scaring them. I think we were taught to be scared of weed because we were seeing people be arrested, and we were just taught that weed was a part of the bad things. It was, you were definitely like steered away and frowned upon if you went the weed way. So it's not like that anymore. And I think it's important to separate weed from things that actually are harmful. And that's kind of what we're working towards doing as a society. So you start with the youth, let them know. Not now, kid, but eventually, if you want to talk about it and be a part of it, let's do it. But they will likely come to you.
I hope so. I think they will.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's cool to have cool family, eventually when they catch up to everything and your family just...
You want the kids to make an informed decision, as informed as they can be, but you don't want them to grow up too fast.
No.
And you don't want
They could still have like a curiosity. I mean, shit, I didn't smoke weed until I was old.
Yeah, I was much later in life than a lot of people that I've
all my friends were smoking weed. I was like, no, I do not want to get arrested. My mom will literally kill me. And they just like scare kids. Like, you're not going to juvie for like a joint, but they did. Yeah,
there's so many. I sent you that video of like the boomer parents.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, for sure. The DARE program, can't stress that enough. So it's good. Times they are changing. We had good breaks in our respective states with our respective families. It's 2025. We are doing our first show, and pretty much to start the year off. So I personally, and this is just me being personal here, we are on Instagram, we used to be really diligent about posting on Instagram. We post like every day. We would do our best. And then like the shadow bans and the like hammer really started coming down on weed content. Like profiles were getting banned. We did everything we could to stay above water, but and it starts to affect our personal pages too. I feel like sometimes my stuff doesn't get out. And then I don't ever want to affect Idobi Radio's socials. Follow Idobi Radio everywhere. And I'm Blue Sky at idobi.com because they are on point. And I don't want to bring them down with our fucking stupid shadow ban ass Instagram. And it makes me so mad because we have done a podcast every Monday, almost we do not miss more than 2 weeks in a row, and we haven't for literally 8 years. And it just annoys me that we come across this hurdle when we're trying to respect it and honor it and use social media as one would intend. And we keep getting kind of knocked down by getting banned, or our pictures get taken down and it looks like we haven't posted in months. Everything just is a pain in the ass. If you're a cannabis content creator, you know what this is like. TikTok won't even fucking give us the time of day because of our name. Our name really fucks us up. But again, I'm being stubborn and I'm not going to call us the Cool Nerd Gardening Show. You could...
Yeah, even all of those code words are now getting shadow
They are,
banned.
of course they are. They're going to. And whatever. So Instagram has come out again, right, with their official...
Yeah, they have released a new policy, which actually took out a lot of larger content creators, even, like Be Real TV.
Right.
Who has, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of followers, is having issues.
Right.
Among other people, bigger brands.
Yeah. If you're a cannabis like brand or podcast or even just like an influencer, you have likely been banned already, or you've faced this sort of thing and you've done your best to get around it. Maybe you've built your following for a long time. It's just very frustrating, and it's across the board too. We'll call out Meta today because they released their guidelines, but it's everywhere. We're getting it from every which way, except for the wonderful Idobi Radio. But I mean, and most streaming platforms, like the big ones, they've been fine with us. But some of them, we disappeared from like iHeart for a little while. And
oh yeah,
someone was like, change your name, and I was like, I'll be goddamned if I change our name.
I can't even get into that iHeart account anymore, but the feed link is linked up there.
Yeah.
So
if you have that app or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. But it's weird because somewhere we're in that code.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank God for idobi. But yeah, so we've faced a lot of issues with Meta, but okay, so we'll go over some of them. And even if you're not in the industry, it's kind of like good to know why you haven't maybe seen us. We're doing our best. We are. But
we should there's the obvious things that are banned on the Meta platform, but we're going to stick to the
weed, really.
The drug and weed. We fall under drugs and pharmaceutical section. Yeah. Cool. So what Meta does not allow is high risk drugs that have a high potential for misuse and addiction or are associated with serious health risks, including overdose. For example, cocaine, fentanyl, and heroin. You can't be obvious and trade any of these things, although these people come across my platform.
I know, yeah. Tell that to all the spam that I get in my DMs.
You can't admit to buying any of these drugs, quote unquote drugs, coordinating trading.
So even if you're like, I picked up this fucking
avocado and it's really weed.
This broccoli.
You can't even use broccoli anymore. But apparently avocado was being used for a long time, and even the word avocado is being banned. So, you better have a bunch of guacamole recipes if you're going to use that avocado emoji. And then there's non-medical drugs. It's all about like buying, selling, and trading. However, you can for certain you can talk about these things, but only as like overcoming an addiction, like sobriety content.
Wow, these are crazy rules.
When even referring to such drugs,
they're like these are crazy. These are crazy rules. Coordinates or promotes, by which we mean speaks positively about, encourages the use of. I mean, that's kind of our thing.
That's our whole thing is education and encouraging and positive use of cannabis.
Oh my goodness.
So, we're falling under that, even though it doesn't clearly state cannabis in any of these regulations.
No. The only thing I see is buy, sell, trade, or donate, whatever. That's the only cannabis.
Oh, yeah, the cannabis and derived cannabis products.
Well, in that other article we were looking at, the old pal guy, the CEO.
Oh, yeah,
was like,
Rusty.
Yeah, Rusty, your boy. Shout out to old pal. They've always been cool. And, he's bummed that he's gotten, because they did have actually a pretty good social media presence. They worked at it, and they got shadow banned, and they couldn't really get verified. It was like hard to get verified because they were always getting their content removed, and it's hard because you are advertising and that's what's so crazy. Like, if you're a dispensary, I guess you can't have a page.
You can't. Things that'll get you shut down with a dispensary is that like advertising deals. Prices. Because you're buying, you're selling,
like,
you're selling
weed. Here it is.
There, yeah.
With no context. Weed.
That's probably why I see all of like the big shops doing their content is like, oh, when you see your bestie at work.
Right. POV. Yeah. When creative.
When you're clopening and they're like hiding under the desk.
And we're laughing, but we have to figure out a strategy as well. We have to figure out what to do to stay on these platforms like everybody else gets to be, by the way. It just really upsets me. Because not only is it like, whatever, it's legal here. I know it's not legal everywhere. But we're clearly coming to a part of life where a bunch of avenues and opportunities are going to open up in the industry. And we have been talking about it for so many years. There's I don't know why, as the years went on, more restriction was given, even though societally it's more accepted. Why?
Huh.
And not to say that there aren't people there trying to sell stuff. Yeah, we get the mad people, but there's a way to differentiate the two. You know, it's from a dispensary who's legal, or a podcast who is just saying, listen to the fucking podcast or whatever.
Yeah, we don't send anybody our Telegram.
No, we do not. We do not.
And
no.
There's no ship emoji. There's no package emoji.
Mm-mm. No, we're just two honest nerds nerding out about cannabis nerd stuff. And we're getting dinged. And the rules are vague yet very targeted. Like to promote non-medicinal drugs or talk about them in any positive light. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's totally crazy.
So, and there's this 18 or older thing. So I don't know, maybe you might need to be 18 or older to follow us or something. But
I think we tried that too.
I think we did too, yeah. We're trying everything. Alcohol also alcohol is also mentioned. Other stuff is mentioned, but I mean, it's kind of the same, I guess. Like,
it is. It's like, you know, they spell everything out with weapons and exotic animals and any other dark web stuff that you might find creeping around your DMs.
Wow, there's a lot of guidelines. It's a lot.
I mean, there's a lot of people with like fake wellness claims too.
Sure, yeah. Sure. What a weird world we live in.
Yeah, all controlled by Meta.
Yeah, and we fell right into it too, you know.
Because what are we supposed to do?
And it's too bad.
It's the largest platform.
It is. And we would want to create content on all of the platforms. I think we're pretty willing participants, but the banning and all the things, it's very discouraging to me. I get very pouty about it. I try to contribute, and the show tries to contribute, but I don't know how we get around, and we're trying to figure it out, but I don't know how we get around who we are at our core.
There was a cultivator that sent out like a comedic post and tagged Meta in it.
Oh, really?
And his account was taken down.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh.
It was like put in insta jail.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we definitely were, every company, and also cannabis company, is using it. So it's just a shame. I do feel like I don't know what content they expect to be getting, because they restricted a lot of stuff that's like any fun. And again, we will not be changing our name. We might be changing our Instagram, so we'll let you know what it is.
Keep you posted
on that, because we're going to try all the things. Start fresh. It might, we may not need to be just blatantly smoking on our Instagram, because clearly that's...
We may have to burn it.
Yeah, we may have to. We may have to.
From the ashes, the phoenix shall rise.
God. Like, I don't know. I get very frustrated when I talk about the social medias and cannabis, because again, I'm a very willing participant in social media. Almost too willing. You know that in me.
Do you, even with all of the restrictions, do you think TikTok will eventually be...
That's if it's not banned.
Be banned?
I don't know what they're going to do with TikTok. I feel like it would be really nuts for it to be banned. I think they're working on whatever they're working on. I don't know if an American company is going to buy it. I don't know if they'll allow that. I don't know. All the comments under the TikTok getting banned videos are like English people or Australian people being like, well, TikTok won't be as fun without you. And I'm like, yeah, we're probably very entertaining to watch from the outside, I have to imagine.
Oh my God, watching this human experiment.
Yep.
The United States.
Yeah, just imploding from the inside must be pretty entertaining. I gotta say. So yeah, it'll be weird if they take it away. I definitely feel like while there's a lot of shortcomings and issues with all of these social medias, TikTok to me, and everything, because everything's an expression. So you find a way to express yourself, to be a part of it, to be a part of a community, and as detrimental sometimes as it can be, you work with it and around it. You become a generation that can live with social media. But if we have like the olds not even understanding what the fuck social media, what TikTok even is, which they don't in the government, then even fucking stupid ass Donald Trump is like, yeah, it's fine. I like TikTok. It did it right for me. And also cannabis. Dumbasses for cannabis too. Like, how is he on the right side of things? But no, you know,
is he though? Is he really
not the right side of things? I shouldn't say that.
I mean, just the issues.
His stupid isn't the wrong stupid this time.
In this particular case,
just this time, for not good righteous reasons, only for reasons to benefit himself.
Of course.
It just so happens that those things are things that we like. You know? And that's what I've always said. Like that can't be how we proceed in this world and historically. So weed, I think, is a really good like barometer for kind of how we're gonna go as a society. And if we can't embrace it with all of the parts of us, which is social media and the government and our families, whatever, then we'll never get anywhere.
Yeah,
if you're still
it's true.
Taking posts off the fucking internet of homies hotboxing in their car or something, or speaking positively about a plant that may have saved their lives at some point, fuck out of here with that shit.
Makes no sense.
Get it together. Fucking meta. Fucking meta. Like, what weird world do we live in that I'm getting pushed to the brink by Mark Zuckerberg? Like, remember when you first signed up for your... Well, you probably didn't do Facebook.
I was on MySpace.
Yes, we were all on MySpace.
I didn't really do Facebook.
I went to college.
I didn't.
Well, I went to college. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I had hundreds of $1,000s of debt for no fucking reason and wound up selling weed and being on the radio. Excuse me. I was on the ground floor of fucking Facebook. Thank you very much. Where it was a .edu email. That's why I said that, because it was only for students at some point. Then it became obviously what it is. Go watch the
I didn't like it until I got into Instagram.
Yeah,
because I just like pictures.
Same. I like pictures. I also like.
I didn't really like
keeping up with everybody without like having to talk to them.
Exactly. You can check out this picture.
Love that.
And we're cool. We're still friends.
Yeah, we're still friends. I liked your picture. I know what's going on in your life.
Yeah, what happened from there should be a social network part 2.
Ooh, good idea. Ring, ring, Hollywood. Hello, Hollywood. We have an idea for you.
What is
who should play Mark Zuckerberg? The same.
Just
lad?
get the same guy.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Why not? He's a little older.
So is Mark Zuckerberg.
Exactly.
Fuck everything. Okay, we're gonna take another break. We don't know where we're gonna land in the Instagram world, but we're trying our best. The guidelines are out. If you're a creator, just be careful. We know that you build your following up. We are very organic in our following. We really are, and we try our best. So find us wherever we are. We will have a presence on the social media. We will find a way. And again, always thank you, idobi Radio, for never censoring us or making us feel like we're less than because we're cannabis. And that's what Instagram does. Like, I lay awake and I think about it, which I guess it does that to everybody in different ways. But whatever. I like pictures. We're going to take a break and come back and do a little bit of an extended final Huff and Puff, right?
Yeah.
You want to spend some time on this because
it's
a gosh darn shame. It's a crying shame what's going on in this.
Get ready to rumble.
We're starting off the air in a negative way. Not negative, just some stuff that, makes us feel feelings. We know that Kentucky, you are legal, or medicinal, you're legally okay. We will talk about you next week. We didn't overlook that. I just want to note that we are on top of shit, okay? Get off my back. But we wanted to touch on the latest update, which was a couple weeks ago, of the pesticide saga. Is this just LA or is this everywhere?
No,
yeah,
this is
California.
This
I'm sorry.
California wide.
California wide. Okay, so all of California, there's a lot of brands out here. Yes. So the odds are you can get away here and there, right? You'd think just a couple. But no. So many brands out here are testing dirty for so many things.
Yeah, the LA Times recently tested products from the legal market, products from your local smoke shop, your local trap, your traditional market, as well as some hemp products.
And when they did this earlier in the year, last year, and it went like pretty viral because a lot of the brands that you trusted were on that list and they were doing harmful things that we worked kind of hard to make sure that didn't happen. That's the kind of one of the points of regulating weed is to actually regulate what goes in it and what's delivered to the public.
Yes. There's so much, and this is why we wanted regulations.
Mm-hmm.
The LA Times, there's 3 categories to this.
Yeah.
One is exceeds the limits.
Right.
That's with an X.
Yes.
And then there's a little triangle with the explanation point. Yellow is pesticides are detected.
Right.
With those are detected, but they're in a within parameters. And then there's no pesticides. That's gets a green check mark. Also, there's the list of pesticides that we test for in California, and now there's a list of things we don't test for.
Right, which is important because if you don't test for it, you can have it in there, and chances are it's harmful for you. It's a little FDA trick that I feel like these guys are picking up on. Like, there's, they don't test for fucking animal shit in my
your cornflakes.
My cornflakes, but that means there's probably animal shit in my cornflakes.
Just a little bit.
They didn't test for it.
An acceptable amount,
human consumption amounts. So that's something to think about.
So there's these state-run labs are offering Cat 4 or Category 4 testing. Mm. It's extra. It's not required.
Right.
So they tested all of these products with the Cat 4 designation.
Yeah.
Expanded pesticide testing.
Yeah, they sent it to the state licensed labs, SC Labs, which we know, and Resco Labs.
Oh, yeah. They've been doing it for all 3 of these labs.
Yes, they have been in it for a long time. They didn't know what brands they had. They were just like, give it to us, baby. Give it to us. We love this shit. That's what we do. So the LA Times went around. They gathered, doing the Lord's work, and they sent it over.
I went through all 56 pages for you.
Wow.
And you know what I found?
Tell me.
Some of the biggest brands, the loudest, biggest brands.
The loudest, yes. That's a good way to put it.
In California, almost every single one of their products tested for some pesticides, acceptable levels. And then a lot of these products that tested that had acceptable levels also did not pass the category 4 testing.
Right.
So they did contain other pesticides, which is
most of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that like most of them, they had other shit in them. Some of them are completely clean, but some of them, they pass the first one, the acceptable amount, but they don't pass the ones that you're like, I don't know what these are, but they're definitely pesticides, and they're in here, which is crazy.
It's
so many brands. I mean, okay, so we'll call out a couple of them because, like, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Backpack Boys.
Oh, man.
Now, talk about a loud brand. Do we ever smoke any? I feel like out of protest, we were just
no.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
And much love if we know you and you worked for Backpack Boys. We know your heart. But you got to do what you got to do. But they were loud. Social media all over the place. They had billboards and signs and stuff. They had a place on like Melrose or something.
Yeah, they had huge openings and
they were loud. They were giving cookies wannabe. Ugh, that's so mean.
That is.
Oh my god.
It's a catty.
I'm sorry.
Hot take.
Ooh.
I love it.
I used to be way meaner than I am now. Earlier shows, I was mean. I kind of toned down, but that was mean. But I'm not wrong. It's something I would have said to you while we were,
They tested positive for hidden pesticides.
Everything.
Everything.
They are dirty.
Totally dirty.
Shame on you, Backpack Boys. What are you doing? I don't think I'm being mean if you're putting poisonous stuff and stuff.
No,
these are trying to find relief.
These are facts.
Yes.
These have been blind lab tested. Some of them have been pulled off the market. I think the Backpack Boys actually had their license pulled.
Well then,
some part of their facility has been suspended for sure.
Cold Fire is clean.
Cold Fire is clean.
Clean as fuck.
And we stand by Cold Fire.
We love Cold Fire. Connected. Clean as a fucking whistle.
Stizzy.
Fucking Stizzy.
It's always the ones.
It's always the ones you most suspect, to quote the great Michael Che. And Stizzy, again, and we talk our shit, but they are just as popular as ever, I reckon.
Yeah, most people don't even care.
I mean,
some people are like, they're like, oh, did you see that LA Times article? I'm like, yeah. You still want one, or do you want to try something else?
Flavor Aid.
I was like, oh, geez, Flavor Aid, come on.
Well, didn't we just like?
We just had one.
But wasn't I not?
We did. We were hitting that, and we did a video in the car at the Grove.
We
were pretty litty.
We did. And, yeah, okay, I did like it. I remember being like, whoa. we were litty.
For sure.
That was fun. Those were the days. But Flavor Aid isn't completely dirty. Just a few.
Yeah, it's not like their whole catalog tested dirty. You know, one of the biggest offenders that has the loudest presence is the West Coast Cure.
Oh, yeah.
And their products are starting to come out, and they have stickers that say Cat 4 on them. But their name comes across this list many times.
Look at Jeter. Clean
Jeter's
as a whistle.
clean.
Clean as a whistle, Jeter.
They got it together.
Yes, you did. We're proud of you here at the Cool Nerd Weed Show. We always had faith in you.
They got their THC in line.
Yeah, coming out clean.
Coming clean.
Getting that new. Good for you. Good for Curvana, per the use. Nothing surprising there. West Coast Cure it was very loud, was everywhere. And there's a lot, like, I was just looking at Heavy Hitters and Maven that are those yellow and reds, other risks and detected, which is fine, I guess. But TBH, I never really was obsessed with Maven.
I feel like
a couple times I was into them, but
yeah,
I feel like a lot of other people were obsessed, and I was like, it's okay. I'm very. And then, very critical.
True. And then what was it good at one point? And then somebody like fucked it up and they were trying to save some crops and now they're using these off-list pesticides. And that's going to foul up your program, your flavor, everything. Your fucking lungs.
Sure will. Plug play. I don't know why I was so into plug play for like that period of time. They were fun. They have fun flavors.
They're clean, right?
Couple were good. Couple were bad.
Oh, it's true. Yeah. It was like the Blue Dream was bad.
Yeah. But the ones I was smoking were actually good. And the Berry Gang, which I don't think I ever smoked.
That flavor is wildly popular.
Mom, it's yellow and red.
It's laden with pesticide.
Yeah. Just an acceptable amount though. Raw Garden, per the usual, clean as a whistle. We always know that they're clean and we love them.
I was kind of, I don't know if I was surprised by Cake. You remember those became, I was supposed to be really scientific. They also make like a 1.5 gram vape.
Yes.
And they're really affordable.
Yes.
Which I'm always suspect.
Yeah. The process of making good concentrate is expensive.
For sure. And then, you're making that concentrate and you're not remediating the pesticides out.
Yeah, man. It's like a very big offense. Wow, West Coast Cure really shit the bed.
Yeah, and then, they're out there posting videos that you can come in, grab anything off the shelf and test it.
Well,
but
they did.
They did.
They called you on your bluff. It looks like you got fucked up. Yeah, it's disappointing. We are disappointed in all these brands who tested dirty, and we encourage and praise the LA Times for doing these things, because why else are we fighting for access if not to have ingredients or the process be clean? We see how things got out of hand with big food companies and big farming and all these big fucking things here in the country. Let's try to reel it in a little bit with our cannabis, and maybe we can do it right. And I'm glad these labs are testing this way, and I'm glad the LA Times is doing this. And I'm mad that the companies that were called out are still trying to get away with some dumb shit. Cut it out.
So they're big. They're big companies.
Yeah, it's not like little startup companies. These guys have been around. So, yeah, you can use this article as a guide or ask your bud tender what's what. Some people just want what they want, don't care what's in them, and that's totally fine too. Totally fine too. We just, if there's a rule, then we should follow it.
Yeah, we want clean cannabis and cannabis products.
That's the goal.
That's the whole...
I should say that's the goal. It's part of the whole thing. I think the stigma... I think if you're smoking or you're consuming weed and you're consuming things that will make you more sick in the long run or not feel good or just not make a good product, you're really defeating the purpose here. So get it together, you dummies. And... that's the show, right? You have more to talk about?
That's that I didn't realize that that's the show.
Oh, do you have a lot more? We have 3 minutes. Go for it.
I'm so good. We've said it.
What hasn't been said?
What hasn't been said
about these dirty ass weed companies. Thank you for hanging out with us on the first Monday. Is it the first Monday? On the first Cool Nerd Weed Show Monday of the new year. We love you. Download the idobi app. idobi is where you can find our free 99 app. Catch up on our podcast episodes. Also listen to podcasts from actual literal rock stars, people who know like very cool things and have very cool things to say. Our radio station's unparalleled. We are a one-stop shop with our beautiful, delicious idobi radio app. It's free, and you'll be the cool kid who's like, listen to the Cool Nerd Beat Show, like in school. Well, be careful. You don't want to get in trouble. After hours. But we love you. We love idobi. We love being here for as long as our mouths will make noises. And
don't panic.
It's organic.